Hi there, welcome back to the YouTube channel. I'm back. This is going to be a bit of a start of an irregular series that I'm going to do over the next couple of months or so. Because of Tarkir Dragonstorm coming out to play, I've gone back over the decks I've recorded over the years. I've been here on YouTube, and there are quite a few dragon decks I've recorded that probably get a lot of upgrades coming through from Tarkir Dragonstorm. So I figured it was time to have a look at it. I have to say though, I was given the idea by Joshua Rolfsmere 8014 8 days ago. You should do an update on this deck with Tarkir Dragonstorm. They found the original deck. So it's thanks to them that I'm starting this series off today. They're going to be a bit irregular. It'll be when I have time to do the extra videos each week. So bear with me. But for those of you who don't know, Ganax Astral Hunter is a dragon, 3/4 for red and 4, and has flying. And whenever it enters or another dragon enters, you get a treasure token. And then you get to choose a background. And the background that pairs really well with this is the Feywild Visitor. Commander creatures you control have, whenever one or more non-token creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, you get a 1/1 blue fairy dragon creature token with flying. So basically, if you get in with some damage with some of your creatures, and you've got Ganax and the Feywild Visitor in play, when the fairy dragons hit, you get another treasure, which means you can cast more things. And yeah, the original deck was quite strong, I have to say. I did enjoy playing it, but as I said, there are a lot of fun dragons with Tarkir Dragonstorm. So here we go. Here's what the updated of this deck looks like, and keep your eyes out for some of the other ones. Obviously, there will be two main ones coming out as soon as I can get them recorded, but you can work them out, and there'll be little surprises every so often on Fridays for a while. So here we go. Here's what today's deck looks like. So it's going to start with some of the creatures you're going to be seeing quite regularly going forward. So Dragon Lord Servant is still in to cut the cost of our dragon spells down. And then we've got a couple of things that help us get treasures, because we like treasures to help us cast our dragons. So we've got Generous Plunderer, which does double damage, is dealing some damage. Double duty is dealing some damage, not double damage, sorry. Then we have got Magda, the Brazen Outlaw, is also in to give us more treasure tokens, as well as Magda, the Horde Master, to give us even more treasure tokens with commit crimes. And if we get a whole load of treasures, we can sacrifice them to get a 4/4 red scorpion dragon creature with flying and haste, which will obviously trigger Ganax again to give us another treasure token. So, you know. Academy Manufacturer is also in. We are creating treasures, so we also have the clues and the foods. Dragon Speaker Shaman is also in to drop the cost of all our spells by dragon spells by 2. And then we have one of the new cards, which at the moment on MTGO is very expensive. This is No Go, Dragon Zealots. It was actually cheaper for me to go and buy the Teemor deck to get this and do it any other way. Dragon spells you cost 1 less, so another reduction. And then when it attacks, if we control three or more dragons until the end of turn, Nogi becomes a dragon with base power and toughness 5/5 and gains flying, which is just crazy. Sarkhan's in as well. The Soul Flame, dragon spells you cost 1 less, and then whenever a dragon enters, you may have it become a copy. You know the rules for this one, it's fine. Because we are generating so many treasures, Zorn makes sense to have in here to give an additional one. And then we have Enduring Courage to give all our creatures +2 in haste, and Enduring Curiosity to draw those extra cards when they deal combat damage. Parapet Thrashers, one of the new ones. Whenever one or more dragons you control deal combat damage to an opponent, choose one that hasn't been chosen this turn. Destroy target artifact, deals 4 damage to each other opponent, and then you can exile the top card of your library, and you may play it this turn. 4 mana for this dragon is crazy, and I love it. We've got the Rune Skill Stormbrood also coming in, just a little bit of counter magic if we need it. And then whenever you cast a non-creature spell or a dragon spell, this creature gets +2/+0 until the end of turn. So yeah, quite easy to make this a 4/4, 6/6, etc. Territorial Hellkite also comes in. Beginning combat on your turn. It attacks someone you didn't attack last combat, and if you can't, you get to tap it. Alright, 6/5 for flying and haste for 4 mana. Yep, live with that. We've got a lot of dragons you can imagine coming through it now. So Thundermaid Dragon is also in. Look at the top card of our library at any time. Cast creature spells for power 4 great from the top of our library. And if we cast a creature this way, it gets haste. Vengeful Ancestor Spirit Dragon with flying Enters the battlefield or attacks, you get to goad something, and the goaded creature then deals 1 damage to its opponent when it attacks. Well, its controller when it attacks. Bonehorde Dracosaur had to be in. We love this one just for the extra treasures and the 3/1 dinosaur tokens. Gold Lust Triad also comes in. Has Myriad, and whenever it deals combat damage to a player, you get a treasure token. But don't forget, with Myriad, it means you attack with this, you get another copy of it attacking each of your opponents as well, so you can get a whole load of treasures with a bit of luck. The traditional one from the deck, Goldspan Dragon, is also here, and so is Nesting Dragon for the landfall. Get the little egg tokens, and then get your little 2/2 dragons when they come into play. Scourge of Alcus just does the damage for us, along with Terror of the Peaks. We won't talk about them too much. And then we have the Storm Shriek Feral Flush Out, do a little bit of rummaging, which is quite nice. And the Flying and Haste isn't the end of the world with the Omen. Ancient Copper Dragon for the extra treasures. The new one, a Durga Isle Dragon as well, has Wall 2 and is flying. It's a 6/6, it's common. But the tapping one target creature and drawing card on the Omen side does save you sometimes. Traditional ones, Lathis is here to get the extra tokens. Scourge of the Throne to give us the additional combat step. We attack the person with the highest life total. And then the one that everybody really does enjoy now. Stormscale Sinian. Dragons you control get +1, other dragons get +1/+1. And this has Storm. Yeah. Like this. Sorceries. Jessica's Will to help with the mana. Mana Geyser to help with the mana. Rousing Refrain to help with the mana. And then Echo of Eons just so we can shuffle everything back in and then flash it back if we need to at some stage. Instance Arcana Spell, Cyclonic Rift, and then Ramp with Desperate Ritual. Mana Drain for more ramp and countering, obviously. More ramp with Pyretic Ritual. Chaos Warp to get rid of the annoying things. Prismari Command to give us some treasures and blow things up or draw 2, discard 2. Seething Song for more ramp and a bit more control with Cryptic Command because I decided to go down this route for a change. We have a lot of artifacts. I'm not going to lie about it. We have got the Mox Jasper. You're going to have enough dragons coming into play that you should be able to cast this quite happily. Mox Tantalite, Soul Talisman, give you more ramp. The Elixirs here just to shuffle everything back in if it goes pear-shaped. Lava Spur Boots to go on Ganax to protect them, and then ramp with Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Fellwar Stone, Fire Diamond, more protection with the Lightning Greaves, more ramp with the Sky Diamond, more protection with the Boots, more ramp with the Dragon Talisman of Creativity, and then Dragonstorm Glow, which I think is probably the most, well, not the most, probably one of the best ramp cards that they could have done for a while. 3 mana. Doesn't come into play tapped, you get 1 extra mana. So, yeah, okay, it costs you 2 technically if you play it. But each dragon you control enters with an additional +1/+1 counter on it. And it does count the ones we make from our little thing over here, the Feywild Visitor. So, they come into play because it doesn't say anything about non-token. They're dragons, they come in as 2/2s instead of 1/1s. What's not to love? Just great, as well as pumping all the creatures that we talked about earlier. Finally, the Reaver Cleaver's in because I just like this bit of equipment and having it give something trample and then more treasures when we deal combat damage. You're on a winner. Enchantments. Dragon Tempest had to be here. We want to make sure we can deal the extra damage and give all our dragons haste. I've got a few extra of the backgrounds in, so we've got Guild Artisan here, so whenever this creature attacks a player, if no opponent has more life than that player, you get extra treasures. The Rolling Dragonstorm comes in, just so we can draw 2 and discard 1, and then return it to our hand and keep repeating it as we play our dragons. Frostcliff Siege is also in. Go for the Timor version on this. Creatures you control get +1/+0 and have trample and haste. Thank you very much. Storm the Vault, because of the amount of treasures we're making, we're able to have it here because, you know, if we can flick it over to the Vault of Catalacan, we'll be very happy. But, you know, end of the day, creatures dealing combat damage give us more treasures to play with. And then the final one of the Dragonstorm enchantments, Breaching Dragonstorm. Exile top card of your library into your exile non-land card. You may cast it without paying its mana cost if that spell's mana value is 8 or less. We have nothing above that, just so we're clear. And we can put it in our hand, and this just goes back to our hand when a dragon enters, and we get to do the whole thing again. So I like this card a lot. Lands, blue, red lands. all the way through. Arena of Glory's in nowadays, just to make sure we can give something hasty. We've got another way of doing it. Yes, we have to exert it, which means it doesn't untap, so it's a little bit expensive, and it costs us a mana and this to do it, but hey, I'll quite happily give one of my big boys haste. Cascade Blast, Castle Vantress with the Scrying Command Tower, the Snarls, and a few other bits and pieces. Nothing unexpected. Reliquary Towers here, Temple of the False Gods here. And yeah, blue-red lands all the way through, realistically, and that's it. That's my really quick update on Ganax today. Like I say, it's going to be a bit irregular. I will have to cover the Dragon at some stage, and Miram, and a few of my other more common dragons that I've done over the years, because there are a lot of updates for all of them. So it's going to be a semi-irregular series. It's just when I get the extra time to do an extra 5th video each week, and I'm not doing a stream replay. So keep your eyes open. And yeah, I'll put these in a separate playlist. You can just come and check in the future. If you like this, please hit the subscribe button down below. Come give me a follow over on Twitch. I'd really appreciate it. I'm a bit concerned about the changes Twitch are making, so I need to get more followers over there. So the more the merrier over there if you can. Thank you very much. But for now, I'll be back next week. We'll go back to Tarkir and we'll look at some of the cards I haven't covered yet. So for now, take care, have fun, and I'll see you very soon, either on the stream or back here on YouTube next week. Have a good one. Bye.